Good afternoon, my name is Camden and welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of anything cozy, but I have left one very popular and well-loved cozy niche untapped for far too long, and that is Studio Ghibli. According to my research, Studio Ghibli is a Japanese animation studio based in Tokyo. It has a strong presence in the animation industry and has expanded its portfolio to include various media formats. Most notably, they are the studio that produced films like My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, Kiki's Delivery Service, and Howl's Moving Castle, which are among some of their most popular films to date. I know that Studio Ghibli films are considered very cozy and a lot of people's comfort forms of media, so I really have been wanting to check out some of their movies for quite a while, but I don't have HBO Max or any service that carries their movies, so to this day I have only watched like a quarter of Kiki's Delivery Service at a sleepover with a friend before everybody passed out and fell asleep. So we are going to remedy that today. Given that my channel centers around books, however, I was trying to think of a way to kind of tie in Studio Ghibli movies with a reading vlog, and this is the concept that I came up with. Because Studio Ghibli films are so beloved, and because I think they have a very specific tone and an already set fan base, I have seen so many cozy fantasies and graphic novels being pitched to Studio Ghibli fans. It seems like a lot of the books that I've read in the past year have been compared to Studio Ghibli movies or have been pitched as being for fans of Studio Ghibli movies. So I thought that this would be a good opportunity to read some of the other books on my list that I have seen either on lists for people who like Studio Ghibli movies or have seen blurbs that kind of say this is for fans of Studio Ghibli. So I've compiled a stack of books that I can read in this video while also delving into some of the movies. So the first one I have here is an obvious one because there is a very popular Studio Ghibli movie based off of this book, and that is Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This is a book that came out in the early 2000s, I believe, and it's a fantasy novel. I remember my sister reading this when we were kids, but I never got a chance to read it, or I didn't have any interest at the time. I love this tiny little pocket-sized edition. It's so cute. But this is following a hat maker named Sophie as she is making friends with a guy named Howl who has a moving castle. I've started this book a couple of times in the past, so I think I've read the first couple of chapters, but I'm interested to finally give this one my full effort and try and read it from beginning to end. The next book that I have here is one that has had comparisons drawn to Kiki's Delivery Service multiple times, and that is Eva Evergreen's Semi-Magical Witch by Julie Abe. This book is following Eva Evergreen, who is a witch, but not a very good one. The back of this book says that when she lands in a tranquil coastal town of Oteri, the residents expect a powerful witch, not a semi-magical girl. So Eva comes up with a plan: set up a magical repair shop to help Oteri and prove that she's worthy. She may have more blood than magic in her veins, but her semi-magical fixes repair the lives of the townspeople in ways they never could have imagined. Just based on the small amount of Kiki's Delivery Service that I saw, I can definitely attest that this sounds pretty comparable to that movie. So I'm really excited to read this one. Seems like it's going to be quite the vibe of the video, so excited to check this one out. It's been on my TBR for quite a while. The next couple of books that I have are graphic novels that I've either seen on lists or I have seen like reviews state that they are similar to Studio Ghibli movies, and those are The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill, who is the author, I believe, of the Tea Dragon Society, another book series that's been compared to Studio Ghibli, and the other one is The Seance Tea Party by Ramena Yee. I do have one other book that I'm hoping to get to in this video, and it is an audiobook that I found on Scribd. It's called The Cat Who Saved Books, and it's by Sosuke Natsukawa. So these are all the books that I'm hoping to get to in this video, and I'm hoping to also get to at least 2 Studio Ghibli movies and let you know my thoughts, because like I said, I love cozy, I love comfort, and I want to see what all the hype is about. I will check in with you guys a little bit later when I decide to start reading. Hello, I am back to give you a reading update. I am about 120 pages into Eva Evergreen since yesterday, so only took me a day to get 120 pages into this book, so it's definitely going by quickly. I'm enjoying the story a lot. It's very cute, it's very sweet, magical, cozy, pretty much everything I expected this book to be. We basically start out the story by following Eva as she is going to request to be sent on her novice quest. So in order to advance in your learning of witchcraft, you have to be sent on these different quests, and you have to pass those quests in order to continue. And because this is the very first quest that she is going on, if she does not succeed on this quest, her magic will be taken away from her completely. So they'll do like a spell basically to remove what magic she has, and they try to do that at the beginning of the book. They think that she does not have enough magic to be able to complete her quest, and they want to just remove the magic from her altogether, but she's very insistent that she can do this and she's going to prove herself. And they point to examples of her having struggled with magic or like fallen asleep during casting spells because her magic isn't strong enough. She ends up convincing them to at least give her a chance, so she ends up traveling to this very southern coastal town called Otori, and that's where she ends up stopping and deciding to set up camp as their town witch. She's basically had pushback at every turn from everyone who thinks that she's not a strong enough witch or a powerful enough witch to do this quest, but she is not giving up on herself. We've also met her little companion, who is a flame fox, and his name is Ember, and he's very mischievous. So this whole book is just like perfect vibes. However, I am ready to take a bit of a break from reading, so I thought it would be fun for us to put on our very first Studio Ghibli movie. It's raining out, so it's kind of the perfect atmosphere to watch a cozy movie. I really want to watch and finish Kiki's Delivery Service in this video, especially given that this book is so heavily compared to it. However, I kind of want to watch it after I finished the book, so I'm gonna go with a different one. For starters, I'm torn between Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and The Secret World of Arrietty. All of them sound really intriguing to me, so I'm gonna use like one of these like picker wheels to decide. So let's spin and see what we get. Spinning. Alright, we got The Secret World of Arrietty, so I'm happy with that. So let's go put that on. That was honestly lovely. I did not realize before watching this movie that it's based on the book The Borrowers by Mary Norton, which is a book that I read when I was a kid, but honestly I completely forgot the plot, so I can't tell you if it was accurate to the book or not. But I really enjoyed the animation and the storyline. I love miniatures. I was super into doll houses when I was a kid and like making little mini quilts and tea sets for my dolls, so this was just beautiful, perfect. I loved it. I feel like that movie there just established my love for Studio Ghibli, so I don't even need to continue the video, but I'm going to anyway. I figured that reading both of these probably would not take me very long, and I kind of want to just complete a book. Eva Evergreen's gonna take me maybe another day or two to complete, but I think I can probably finish both of these in like an hour, so I may take a quick break to read these and then get back to what I was reading before, just so that I can, you know, check something else off the list today. hello. Please ignore my unmade bed behind me. I have not had a chance to make it yet. I wanted to give you guys an update on both of these graphic novels. I finished them both, starting with The Seance Tea Party. This one was much deeper and sadder than I was expecting it to be. We're following a main character named Laura, who's kind of right on that cusp of like becoming a teenager, but also wanting to hang on to the last remnants of her childhood. So she's turning 12 in this book, and she feels like a lot of her friend group has moved on to being interested in adult things, being interested in relationships and dating and memes, and she kind of goes into that in the book. However, Laura still wants to believe in magic. She still wants to believe in imaginary friends and ghosts and things along those lines. So she's really struggling with this transition and feeling like she's falling behind where her friends are at, but also she doesn't want to catch up. I really related to Laura a lot in this book. I felt like I could definitely relate to the feeling of like not wanting to leave childhood behind yet and not wanting to have to give up kind of like the everyday magic. At the very beginning of this book, Laura ends up summoning her imaginary best friend Alexa, who is a ghost, and she summons her through her seance tea party, and the two of them kind of discuss how they used to be friends, and then Alexa kind of disappeared and now Laura has summoned her again. So they are throughout this book kind of rekindling that friendship, and Alexa is really trying to offer Laura some comfort about the whole growing up situation, and she has a very different perspective on it because she died young. So a lot of her perspective revolves around how growing up is a privilege and having enough time to experience all the phases of life is a privilege. I was expecting something very light and fluffy out of this book with just a little bit of spookiness, but this book had so many like deep messages that hit home for me. The illustrations are obviously beautiful, and I really loved everything this book had to say and learned some things along the way. The next graphic novel that I finished is The Moth Keeper by Kay O'Neill. This is a author that I have already established that I like a lot. I've read the Tea Dragon Society series by her. I think I've read 3 volumes now, and there may be a couple more. This one in particular follows a main character named Anya, who is a citizen of the Night Village. Basically, there's a story at the beginning that kind of explains how the Night Village came to be, but the moon was super lonely, and one day a bunch of people encountered the spirit of the moon crying and being really upset and lonely that no one ever wanted to walk under the moon and live under the moon, so she never got to interact with people. So that group of people decided to create a village where people would live nocturnally in order to keep the moon company, and as a gift the moon gave them these moths that pollinate a tree, and it provides resources and like healing properties to the night villagers. The old moth keeper is literally and figuratively passing the torch to our main character Anya, and she has to keep that torch lit all night in order to keep the moths around. This story did have some really beautiful messages to it as well, but I just thought it was like a really well done like fantasy story where it created a really beautiful world in not a lot of pages and created some backstory for us, some folk tales for us and things like that, and I just thought it was a really rich and vibrant and beautiful world to be dropped into for a little while. I especially like the different like cultures that they discussed between the people of the Night Village and the people of the Sun Village. I thought that was really interesting. The Night Village is very peaceful and quiet and more about community, whereas the Day Village is very noisy and wild and very individualistic, and I just thought that was like an interesting concept for the author to flesh out within this story. Overall, I really enjoyed both of these books. I think I would give this one a 5 and this one maybe a 4. I have also made some progress on Eva Evergreen Semi-Magical Witch. I think I'm around page 150 or 160 at this point, so definitely some progress made, but there's still a ways to go. I think it's a total of like 380 pages, so only about halfway through this one still, but I'm gonna keep chugging along. I did want to give you guys another update though, because I'm gonna be going to the grocery store to pick up some groceries, and I've been trying all week to look on TikTok for some like Studio Ghibli food that I could make in this video. You guys know I always love to include like a recipe or a cooking montage within my videos because that's something that's super fun for me. So I was trying to decide between a few different options, and I think I'm gonna go with the ramen from Ponyo. I think Ponyo's ramen has ham in it because I think there's something about him loving ham or something like that. I have not watched Ponyo obviously, so I don't know for sure, but I am not a huge fan of ham, so I think I'm gonna get Spam instead. But either way, I think it will be delicious, so we're gonna go get the ingredients for that and I'll bring you along with me. I love this bowl so much. This is the first time I have ever successfully soft boiled an egg, and I'm very proud. That was so damn good. The Spam was an excellent choice as opposed to the ham. I just wanted to drop in to give you guys a reading update. I ended up finishing Eva Evergreen, Semi-Magical Witch. This book is pretty much exactly what I expected it to be, at least. It's very sweet, it's very cozy, it's very friendship oriented. Its themes are pretty similar to what most middle grades are. There's a lot of fitting in, making good friends, being yourself and not trying to be like anybody else. But I always love coming back to those types of themes because even as adults we need reminders about that sometimes. So I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. I'm definitely planning on reading the second book in the series and also a prequel that the author recently came out with. I believe it's called Aliana and the Dragons, or Aliana Girl of Dragons, something along those lines. But either way, I gave this one a 5-star. I definitely see the comparisons between this and Kiki's Delivery Service, which I just watched last night and really enjoyed. It was such a cute movie. A lot of the very same themes: friendship, being yourself. Kiki's Delivery Service also had kind of an underarching theme of like, the more you try and force your creativity or your gifts, sometimes the more you get in your own way. I thought that was a cute inclusion, and the comparison between like her magic and her friend's art and how they both like got into like slumps sometimes or had like creativity blocks and things like that. So I think it's safe to say that it's official, and I am a baby fan of Studio Ghibli. Obviously I don't want to say like I'm a fan until I've like gotten more into some of them. However, I think I'm going to end up saving some of the movies and some of the books for a part 2 maybe next year. I really enjoyed filming this video. It was really fun, and I think I'm gonna save Howl's Moving Castle for that video and also watch Howl's Moving Castle in that video. This vlog already has over an hour of footage for me to edit, so I don't want to keep going with that, but I really do want to film like a part 2, and hopefully by then, given that this has been such a strong theme in the last couple of years at least, we'll have more books that kind of are getting pitched for Studio Ghibli fans, so we can do a full another reading vlog and watch some more movies together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed filming it. If you do enjoy my content, if you could please take a minute to like this video, comment, share, subscribe. All of those things help get my content out in front of people who have similar interests to us, so that would be super helpful, and I will see you all with a new video next Friday. Goodbye!